Hello, YouTube. I would like to share some thoughts about cancer, a very cheerful topic. And my angle on this is what to say and what not to say to somebody with a diagnosis. So, just as a preamble, I've had my little ups and downs. I had prostate cancer diagnosed 2 years ago, more or less, and then it looked really horrible, then it didn't look horrible, then there was surgery, and then it looked okay, but then it was horrible again. And then I did like tons and tons of radiation because it came back. And right now it doesn't look horrible, but I don't know anymore. You know, I've lost my faith in an absolute. And anyway, I'm probably fine, but you know, let's hope so. But anyway, and people have been through much worse than me. This is just my perspective. I have a sister who died of breast cancer, so I've seen, you know, some bad things. My partner died of HIV in 1995. It was a very, very long, difficult, horrific dying process. So I am in no way claiming some absolute authority about, you know, this is the way it is. But I just want to give you my perspective for how I feel and how I have felt when people have talked to me. And, you know, take it or leave it. But this, I mean, I hope it's helpful, because I think what happens is we want to say something to people. We want to be good people ourselves. We want to help. We want to uplift. We want to make it better, you know? And we'll get to that, because that's part of the problem. So anyway, here's my thoughts about, I'll start with what not to say, and then we'll try to make it a positive spin and think about things that you might say. So, okay, the first thing is that this is what you should not say. I knew someone, so-and-so, who had your same cancer, and they were fine. They made it. You know, there are many, many, many different kinds of cancers. Even within the same cancer diagnosis, there's many variations. My own cancer was looked at differently by within the same profession from time to time. So, you know, don't say that. I'm glad your grandfather was okay, or your brother was okay, or your sister-in-law was okay. I'm glad, but that's not helpful to me. You know, this is my diagnosis. You know, if you want to schedule an appointment to talk to my doctors about the minutiae, the specifics of my diagnosis, then come back and tell me how I'm going to make it or how I'm not going to make it. But it's not helpful to discuss all the people you know who had my cancer who were okay. You know, so just don't say that. Stop. Just stop. Don't say that. Okay? I know you want me to feel better, and I know you want to feel better because you know that it worked out before. So let's all revel in that betterness. But it's not helpful to the person you're talking to. You don't know what their journey is, what they're up against, you know, what the specifics are within that particular cancer, all the different stages and the histological properties of those cells and how aggressive or not aggressive or which part of the body or... Yeah, so just let that one go. Keep those stories to yourself, okay? Really, don't do that. The other thing about prostate cancer specifically, and this just gets to me, okay? Well, you know, everybody gets prostate cancer. Well, everybody. Half the population gets prostate cancer if they live long enough. So, okay, this is literally true. But there is a difference from having prostate cancer when you're 70 or 80, and then even within that circumstance, how aggressive or not aggressive. There's a difference between that and when you're 58, when you were my age, or 57. How the heck old? I don't know how old I am anymore. 57, when I have years left that I'd like to live, plans that I'd like to, maybe I'd like to meet somebody before I'm so old that it's just strictly platonic. You know what I mean? So don't say that to people. Yes, it's true, but if you're 70, 80, or even 70, they might just like, let's not treat this because it's not that aggressive. But if you're 57 and it's aggressive, it's not the same disease. This is a corollary to my previous point. Don't say that. Okay, just don't. Absolutely don't do that. It's so not helpful. You know, You're basing that on limited knowledge. And again, you want to make me feel better. Oh well, everybody gets it. A sub-corollary. Well, we all have cancer cells in our body, so okay. I had more than you, so drop that one too. Another big one is, just think positive. Okay. This is a tricky one because, I'm a healthcare provider. I'm going to work, so I'm an acupuncturist, so that's even more woo-woo. So, A, I believe that our thoughts influence our health, and B, there's some evidence. So this is a tricky thing, but I just want you to think about it this way. When somebody, all right, you get a diagnosis that's bad, and you come back to me and tell me, how positive you want to be. If you're saying to somebody who's in fear, who's in doubt, who is in panic and turmoil and just like that tornado going through their head of, am I going to live? I'm going to die. What kind of treatments? How's this going to impact upon my profession, my person? When you say to them, don't be negative, don't think bad thoughts, just chop off the end of that statement. You're saying to them, don't be. Just think about that. Don't be what you're being. And again, you just want to make yourself feel good. Well, let's all be positive, and it'll all go away. We'll all be better. And especially you, that person who you are that I'm talking to right now, you will feel protected because you know that as long as you're positive, you're not going to fall in that same boat. You know what I mean? I think there's a subconscious, like a sort of voodoo that we do, it's a protective thing. Well, you must not have been positive enough. There's whole schools of thought, the Louise Hay school, which I think there are nuggets of truth. There's a Joe Dispenza, a Dr. Dispenza, who talks about this, reprogramming your thoughts and changing your body on a molecular level. Maybe. But then, again, extend that further. So then if you freaking die, that just means you weren't happy enough. Because if you were positive enough, you wouldn't have been in that situation. You see? So you don't know that. You don't know. The mind is a very vast, uncharted, mysterious territory. And to reduce it on the stove, on simmer, to this little crackly, sugary, bite-sized nugget of just be happy and you'll be fine is BS. So don't say that to people. Do not tell them that they have to think positive. Just don't ever say that. I can hear my voice echoing off. I'm not trying to be mean, but y'all need to hear this if you're my target audience. So what do you say? What do you say? One of the things that I think is true is that when you're with somebody, the most important thing you can give to them is your presence. And this sounds like 10-cent New Age psychology, but it's true. It's not the words that we speak. It's just being there. It's holding a space where people can be who they are, whether they're freaking out or whether they're upset or hopeless or maybe they really are dying at some point. Maybe they're on the way out, and that's their journey. How are you going to hold that for them? Be positive so it doesn't happen to me? No, you have to be comfortable with sitting with somebody's misery. And if you're not comfortable, no judgment against you. It's not everyone's a healer. Not everyone has the compassion to hold that space. But try, just as an exercise, just try to hear what that person is saying. And not just for cancer, but for anything, actually. But this is to the topic. Just hold the space for them. Just hear what they have to say and say, well, how are you doing? How are you feeling about this? And here's another thing. Are you getting the help you need? How's that? Are you getting the help you need? Do you have people who are helping you? Do you have medical people and other people, friends, do you have enough support? I can support you. I can just be here just to listen. Just honestly hold the space to hear what they're saying. Just don't do the advice, you know. If you're a doctor, if you're a radiation oncologist, go ahead and give some advice. Or if you're a prostate, if you're a urologist, yeah, give a little advice then. But if you don't have a medical degree, just, you know, the herbal stuff, you know, I do Chinese herbs, you know, I do healing work. I do a lot of that in addition to needles. I do a lot of that stuff, but you don't want to load that on people so that they can just heal themselves, because it doesn't always work. One thing I've learned after being in the healing professions for many decades now is everybody's different. That's why Louise Hay's, you know, approach is I believe flawed. You know, there is no cookie cutter. There's some truths there, but there's a lot of, everybody has their own journey. Everybody has their own karma, if you believe in that. I do happen to believe in that. Everybody has their own path they have to take. Everybody is as happy or as sad or as miserable as they need to be on some level. And when you're sitting across from somebody with a serious illness, not just cancer, but in this case, cancer, just sit with it. Accept what they have to offer. And if you can be helpful, be helpful. You know, in some way. And most people are not in a position to be. The kind of help I need is not the stuff that people could very easily give me. And by the way, I am the recipient of incredible generosity through GoFundMe and Venmo and some other things, because my medical bills were just like out of control. And I handled most of it, but I needed the help and I appreciated the help. So it was very humbling for me. It was difficult. And by the way, if anyone's out there that I haven't thanked, I think I've thanked everybody. Just tell me that you didn't thank me, and you jerk. You probably won't, but I wish you would. So, because a lot of people helped me. That was help. That was good. That was great help. That was like, you know, like Dear Abby said, the nice thing about money as a gift, it's always the right color. But seriously, it was very, very hard for me to accept that help as an independent person all my life. It was difficult, as much as I appreciated it. So anyway, what do you think? If anybody themselves has a diagnosis and would like to comment, I'd be very, very curious to hear your take on this. This is just my 2 cents. I think I'm right. I think most people in my position, and worse than me, or better than me, would agree with a lot of what I have to say. And if you say the wrong thing, I'll still love you. You know, we're all on this journey, and you know, nobody's perfect. And I can't even say it. I have said such stupid crap over my life. I look back and I go, oh, you idiot. Oh, it keeps me awake for a few minutes sometimes. So no judgment. But that's why I'm trying to do this to be of help. so that we all evolve to something better and wiser. You know, we're all on this journey together. None of us are perfect. Far, far from it. So this is my little humble contribution. Okay, love everybody.